The world is a very expensive place right now. Everyone feels it. Groceries, housing, the cost of living as a whole has just been going up in recent years. And only recently has it started to spike at a dis- disgusting amount for everybody. I don't think I've had a conversation with someone in the last year that hasn't involved, damn, my vegetables are very expensive. Damn, I can't buy eggs anymore because they cost an arm and a leg. And I think this is a big part of the reason why everyone was so scared about the Nintendo Direct. If you've been on the internet within the last week, you know about the Nintendo Direct, you know about the pricing of the games and the console, and you know about all the backlash that's been headed Nintendo's way. And all I can say after seeing it all is I'm scared for the gaming industry. Price raises of games and consoles from Nintendo doesn't just affect Nintendo, it affects the gaming industry as a whole and sets new standards and new precedents for all other gaming companies. And a lot of people are asking, are you voting with your wallet? Let's kind of get into the nitty gritty of it all, in my opinion, on this sort of stuff. So, as I said, the Nintendo Switch 2 was just announced. And let's start off with a positive. Some of the games look great. You know, Mario Kart looks fun. The Dusk Bloods looks very interesting. It looks very cool. Obviously, it's Bloodborne. And then there's Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong looks great. That's the end of the positivity part. The prices are fucking disgusting, my guy. The prices are horrendous. $80, $70 US for each of the games. And this is digitally, by the way. I live in Australia, so $80 USD is roughly $130 AUD. $130 for Mario Kart? No, no one's doing that. People that are doing that, I don't know. I don't know what kind of background or generational wealth you have to be spending $130 on a Mario Kart game. God forbid, even some of the articles are saying that some of these games will be $90. 90 fucking dollars USD. That is horrendous. Over the last few years, games as a whole have been getting so expensive and their quality has arguably been going down as well. I'm sure right now you can think of at least 5 AAA titles that costed over $100 for you and the quality was nowhere near $50. There's a big reason why people have been going back to older games. Games that they already own or games that they don't own and now are $20 on sale because they are so old. You can't just hope and pray that your hard-earned cash is going to a good game. No, you can't do that anymore. You can't do things on a whim. You can't just go, that looks cool, I'm gonna buy it. That's not what gaming is. You have to really make informed decisions. And you could argue that you always had to make informed decisions, but now more than ever, if you make a misinformed decision, mate, you're not getting groceries for a week. There's a big reason why so many streamers were paid to stream and talk good about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Because these companies know that with the cost of the games and the prices that they want to put on them, people aren't just going to blindly buy them. They need someone else to tell them it's good. They need to see the gameplay. They need a trusted source, another gamer, to say, yeah, this is worth your money. And it's not just AC Shadows. It's a bunch of different AAA titles that are doing this and using these methods to try and win people over. Like, why would I or anyone throw $110, $120, $130 at a game and just trust the marketing? Don't we all know? It's almost a meme at this point. Don't trust the trailer. If it's a CGI trailer, definitely don't trust the trailer. It's not that marketing doesn't work. It's that it doesn't work to this degree. A cool trailer might work on a $20, $50 game, right? But if you're asking for over $100, like a great portion of someone's monthly salary, it's not just a trailer they need to be convinced. It's a lot more. So now that Nintendo has announced these prices, and honestly, other companies are probably going to follow suit, let's be honest. The marketing strategies that these AAA companies will need to employ to actually get people to buy the games and not just like at least trust them is astronomical. I have no idea what they're going to do, but it may just be having more people stream their game. It might be getting more of the community involved in playing it and stuff like that. Because, Again, no one's trusting their marketing anymore. Another thing I want to touch on within that sphere is the download keys. So half of their cartridges, not all of them, but I assume that there's going to be a lot of them. Their cartridges, hard copy, in hand, brick and mortar, you take it out the case and it's just a download key. You might as well just download it off of the store. Now, the reason that this is a bad thing, in my opinion, is that they charge more for hard copies. They charge more for the plastic they have to use to manufacture it. And you're just not getting the game. You don't own the game still. The big reason why people are so against downloadable and digital versions of games is because they want to own the game. They don't want to take it away from them because of licensing or because of anything else that goes on the internet. They just want, in real life, this game on my shelf can be played at any time because I brought it. I paid for it. So when they say that a download key is going to be $80, $90, my brother in Christ, who's going to buy that? You have to be very deluded to pay that much money for something you don't own. In my opinion, download keys in hard copy cartridge form is probably the lowest form of, I don't even know what to call it. It's subhuman. I'm not going to lie. I really don't like how that's a thing. Look, maybe if there could be some small instances where it's needed, like maybe when they port old games or something. But other than that, bro, like that's not it. We all know that's not it. A little like cherry on top of all the shit cake, right, is the fact that their Astrobot equivalent, Nintendo Welcome Tour, this little game that you use to get familiar with the Switch 2 and understand how it works, costs money. Astrobot came free on the PlayStation. Why is Nintendo Welcome Tour $10? I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $2. Why does it cost anything at all? The greed never ends with this company. It's genuinely unreal. One of their big selling points for this console was the connectivity. They're finally on the internet. There's game chat and you can screen share and have it looks like Discord. It just looks like Discord. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, I saw it and I'm like, that just looks like that just looks like Discord, but shitty. The frames were bad. Like, the UI was ripped directly from Discord. Why would I pay for Nintendo Online to use this when I can just use Discord? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. You could probably argue, well, if you're already paying for Nintendo Online to play with friends, then you might as well use that. No, you know what I mean? I'm not going to just use something worse. If I'm going to pay for Nintendo Online, fine, I'll use the Nintendo Online and pay for that. But I'm not just going to I'm not going to use something objectively worse just because I'm paying for it. You know what I mean? But then they get to hike up the price of their Nintendo Online because it comes with all these new features. Shitty features that no one actually wants to use or probably won't use. So now I'm paying more for Nintendo Online just to not use stuff. And that's no one wants to do that. No one wants to do that. I think it's just funny that the C button on your controller connects to game chat and you obviously have to pay for it. So it's funny in my head to think of an instance where, say, I'm just playing a game single player or I'm just playing some Mario Kart, right? And I accidentally hit the C button and now a paywall screen comes up and I've accidentally pressed the credit card button. I've pressed the cash button. You know what I mean? Like, it's a funny situation to be in, but it's just it's so silly. It's so silly. I know it stands for connectivity or chat, but in my head, it's the cash button. It's it's the credit card button. But going off that point, honestly, why not just use Discord? Why not use anything else? You know, the big reason that I haven't been playing Nintendo games and I haven't been using the Nintendo Online is because I already pay for PlayStation Online, and I already think that's too expensive. So why would I pay for 2 subscriptions? It's a competitive market. So you have to understand that it's not just about the pricing in a vacuum, it's about the pricing as compared to others. Why would I pay for the online subscription of a console that's objectively worse than other consoles or even a piece like PC gaming. I don't even have to pay to play with people on PC. But if I do choose to play on PlayStation and I choose to pay for it, I'm choosing to do that because it's better than everything else. For years and years, Nintendo Switch has been behind every other gaming outlet by miles, by absolute miles. So why would I have paid for that? I think I only paid for Nintendo Online when I played Super Smash Brothers with my friends, and even that, I stopped paying for PlayStation while I paid for that. And then I played Monster Hunter Rise on Switch, and I stopped paying for PlayStation Online when I started paying for that. But as soon as we were done, instantly switched back so I could switch to a better console, a better user-friendly experience. It's cheaper in the long run as well when you compare the two. Overall, a better experience on a better console with better games. That's it. If you think that connectivity and playing with friends on Mario Kart is more worth than an entire console library of other multiplayer games, then that's fine. But when I think of Nintendo, I don't think of the online aspect of it. And the fact that you're going to try and do the online aspect of it is just, I think you're reaching out to an audience that isn't there particularly. Again, other than Smash Brothers, other than Mario Kart, maybe Mario Party, there is not a large audience of people that are going to pay a subscription just to play those games together. But if you throw out personal opinions on pricing and what type of hardware for what type of year, if they're behind, if they're ahead, whatever, right? If you throw all of that out the window, Nintendo's biggest problem has been emulation and piracy for years and years now. They try to crack down on it as much as they can, but it never works out for them. And why doesn't it work out for them? Why is emulation and piracy such a big problem? Because they resell the same game 80 times. You know, how many times have they resold Wind Waker at full price, by the way? And they're going to do it again, you know, with this GameCube expansion for the online, and you're going to pay for it again. I know for a fact that the emulation and the piracy scene is just going to get even bigger. And it's funny too because of how restrictive the hardware has been on the Switch. And honestly, the Switch 2 is still just now it's just on par, if not still a little bit worse than other gaming consoles. So it's still very far behind. But it's made it's made emulation so much easier because you can emulate a Switch game like you can emulate a PS2 game. You know what I mean? It's really, really easy for a lot of people. And then that just brings up the problem of should I pay $80? Should I pay $70, $60 for a Nintendo Switch game? Or should I just pirate it? So a lot of these emulators and a lot of these pirates are going to have a field day when Nintendo Switch 2 drops and the prices are really high and they're like, hey, you want to come over to our side? I know you don't want to pay half of your week's groceries for a game. You know, you can do it for free. You can do it for $10 with a key. Like, I don't know. I've never condoned piracy for companies and games that really deserve the money. But being real here, I can't say shit right now. If companies want to keep hiking up the prices, then I understand why people want to pirate more. And it's not just in the gaming industry. Like where I live, crime has gone up by, what was it? It was like 127%. It's doubled and then some in the last year because of how much the cost of living has gone up. So it's not just groceries and stuff like that. It's not just housing. It's also gaming. If you're going to make gaming very inaccessible in terms of price point, then people are going to try and steal it. That's just the reality of it. So all of this comes back around to, are you voting with your wallet? A lot of people are saying this online. Are you going to buy the Switch 2 and vote with your wallet? Say that this is okay. Are you going to buy the games at full price? Saying this is okay. And look, at the end of the day, it is up to you. I think a lot of people defending Nintendo's decisions right now are a bit... Look, they're not in the same mindset as I am. Let me just tell you that much. And I don't know where they're getting their reasoning, and I don't know what type of mental gymnastics they're doing to make out like this is okay, because I really think it's not okay. But again, to each your own. But I think, me personally, I'm not going to vote with my wallet. I'm going to vote no with my wallet. I'm going to say no. I'm not going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not going to buy any of the games. I might play them, but I'm not going to buy any of the games of the console or whatever. I might play them if a friend has them or something like that. But other than that, I don't think I'm doing it because I'm not trying to buy into this industry. And it's not just Nintendo, it's a big reason why a lot of people are opting out of buying new releases. It's a big reason why I've been opting out of buying new releases. I am not going to spend a large chunk, whether it be 10%, 5%, still a large chunk of my paycheck on a new release just for it to be subpar or just for it to not knock my absolute socks off. Like if I'm paying over like $120 for a game, I want it to impress me. You know what I mean? Like I want it to absolutely have me enamored. I want to put hundreds of hours into it because I'm paying so much money at the end of the day for these games. Baldur's Gate 3, Monster Hunter Wilds. Games like these have taken many, many, many hours off of me, and I'm happy to pay the price for them, right? I understand inflation. I understand that dev teams and industries need to be funded properly so people get paid properly for doing their job and games get made. But I and a lot of other people will not pay those premium prices for games that disappoint us. So yeah, I don't know. That was my rant. That was my thoughts on all the subject. I know that you guys will probably have your own thoughts, so of course leave them down below. Tell me if you're gonna buy the Switch. Tell me if you think the prices are too high. Tell me if you're not buying it. Tell me if you think the game chat is archaic and you should just use Discord instead. But yeah, this was just a rant. As always, have a good day. Have a good night. Take care. Stay safe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.